Now at 9, some changes are coming to the Social Security benefits. We'll hear from a local expert. Plus, the city of Joplin begins accepting proposals for a new strategic plan to better address homelessness. And
a showdown on the House floor as members try to pick the next Speaker of the House. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. I'll give you a closer look at the messy Speaker's election coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Senior citizens receiving a big bump in Social Security are facing more than just a cost of living increase. KOAM's Carrie Worthen learned more about the changes for seniors as the first payments are sent out.
You and I both know that you cannot live on $845 a month.
Economic Security Corporation Joplin is helping bridge gaps as many seniors monitor their money.
I just got to take it. That's all I can do right now. Take a day. They're changing everything all the time. They're raising everything. They're raising Medicare and all that kind of crap. Kind of stuff, and nobody's got any money to do anything anymore.
An 8.7% cost of living adjustment announced by the Social Security Administration has taken effect. That equals an extra $140 per month. In the face of inflation, some seniors may still need help.
That generation was raised to you work hard, you pay your bills, and you do the right thing. And so when they are unable to do that, it's very disheartening to them. You just need to take advantage of every little thing that they can because every little bit helps.
The increase could mean that some seniors won't qualify for other benefits that they were receiving, like Medicaid, food stamps, or rental assistance. Some may have to pay taxes on their benefits. One man says the real key is controlling inflation.
I just hope that they can get this all controlled, because you can't, where everybody's living day by day now as it is. And all the prices are going up. And they're not giving out stimulus anymore. And I don't think they're not taking any consideration for the security people, for low income and stuff like that. They got to do something.
Reporting in Joplin, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
The adjustment by the Social Security Administration is the largest in more than 40 years. Amber McLaughlin was executed this evening in Jefferson City, Missouri. She is the first openly transgender woman to be executed in the U.S. A jury convicted McLaughlin, at the time known as Scott McLaughlin, for killing a former girlfriend in 2003. However, it was a judge that sentenced McLaughlin to death after the jury couldn't agree on the punishment. Missouri is only one of 2 U.S. states, along with Indiana, that allows trial judges to impose death penalty sentences in the event of a deadlocked jury. Missouri Governor Mike Parson declined to grant McLaughlin clemency. The city of Joplin is accepting proposals for a strategic plan to better serve the area's homeless population. Officials say the proposal should include input from community organizations and county homeless coalition service providers. Sealed bid proposals will be accepted until March 1st at the Joplin City Manager's office. And now we go to weather. Sam, what do you have for us?
Well, it's pretty calm tonight in comparison to the way it was 24 hours ago. Radar is clear right now. We do have some showers in our forecast, but it's going to be a while before they get here. Yesterday, we tied the record high of 75 degrees, and ever since then, we've kind of been on this slow glide downward, where temperatures now in the mid 40s across our area. And as we head into the overnight hours, we're going to see temperatures dropping into the 30s, all the way down to about 30 degrees by tomorrow morning. So let's take a look down the lane. A cool midweek is in shape for us, and then some Saturday showers. But overall, it's going to be a dry pattern. And then we're going to take a look at the extended, because we have a little bit of mixed precipitation possible as we head into that forecast period. Of course, I'll have all the details on that coming up in just a bit.
A battle on the House floor involving members of the Republican Party trying to elect the next Speaker of the House. GOP leader Kevin McCarthy made last-minute concessions to those in his party who opposed his nomination, but it wasn't enough. The new Congress is now beginning with a high-stakes showdown that could last days. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard reports from Washington.
A chaotic start for the 118th Congress, now with Republicans in charge in the House, but the party is split on who should lead them.
A speaker has not been elected.
For the first time in a century, a vote for House Speaker was not decided on the first or even second ballot. GOP leader Kevin McCarthy received a large number of Republican votes, but with such a slim majority, there were just not enough members to elect him on the first attempt. Andy Biggs of Arizona challenged him for the post, and Ohio's Jim Jordan was nominated for the second round, despite his support for McCarthy.
Well, sometimes we have to do jobs that we don't really want to do. And sometimes we have to do jobs that we are called to do.
McCarthy's opponents argue he is part of the establishment and doesn't have an aggressive enough approach to take on congressional Democrats.
How are we going to fix this if we keep doing the same things and getting the same outcomes?
In the lead up to Tuesday's vote, McCarthy offered his GOP critics concessions, including making it easier for members to remove him from his position.
There's times we're going to have to argue with our own members if they're looking at for only positions for themselves, not for the country.
For now, Democrats are content to watch their counterparts battle it out on the House floor, with Hakeem Jeffries gearing up to become minority leader.
Certainly from the Democrats' perspective, it's get out the popcorn.
Until a speaker is chosen, House members will have to wait to be sworn in. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Martin Henderson served in the U.S. Army from 1953 to 1961. The Ellsmore, Kansas native was stationed in Korea as part of the 595th Artillery 4th Army Division. We salute Specialist Martin Henderson, a four-state hero. Coming up, a scary situation on Monday Night Football.
A shocking on-field cardiac arrest leaves an NFL player in critical condition. I'm Stephen Gowen in Cincinnati. I've got the details coming up.
We're learning more about what might have sent Bills player Damar Hamlin into cardiac arrest following a tackle during Monday night's game. Fox News' Stephen Gowen has more from Cincinnati.
Damar Hamlin still in critical condition. The Buffalo Bills safety was hospitalized on Monday night after collapsing on the field here in Cincinnati. It was later revealed he suffered a cardiac arrest, which some doctors say could have been caused by a tackle he made moments before passing out.
We see this a lot with what we call blunt force trauma to the chest. We see it in baseball as well when a pitcher, for example, is struck right in the chest with a fast shooting ball. They collapse within seconds.
The stadium came to a standstill after Hamlin collapsed early in the first quarter. CPR performed within just a few minutes, likely saving his life. The Hamlin family says he's fighting, writing in part, quote, "We want to express our sincere gratitude for the love and support shown to Damar during this challenging time."
There's an effort to preserve his neurologic function. Oftentimes these patients are actively cooled. That means that they're put into a coma and the core temperature is dropped.
NFL executives decided to postpone the game after consulting with both teams, saying, quote, "It was obvious on the phone with them that the emotions were extremely high. It was a very volatile situation." Anxious NFL fans now watching, waiting, and praying for good news.
There's not much you can do. You just sit there, hope, and pray that it gets better.
And some of Hamlin's fans are showing their support through donations, raising more than $3.6 million for his holiday toy drive since Monday. In Cincinnati, Stephen Gowen, Fox News.
A new study shows the number of children who accidentally ate cannabis edibles in the U.S. jumped well over 1,000% in recent years. In 2017, there were about 200 reported cases of accidental edible cannabis exposure among kids under age 6. By 2021, there were more than 3,000 cases. That's not exactly clear what has led to the large increase, but one of the study's co-authors thinks increased legalization and remote schooling could be factors. Whether you've already started or want to kick off the new year saying no to alcohol, a bar in Milwaukee might be the spot you will want to consider checking out. Fox's Ashley Sears takes us there.
At 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee, you don't have to drink booze to belly up to the bar.
Mocktails are no longer just juices and pop or seltzer waters.
From mocktails to non-alcoholic beers, more sober options are available, making it more welcoming for people who choose to ditch the booze.
I think that more people are reflecting and taking a little break as they kind of recalibrate and really begin the new chapter in their upcoming year.
It's a trend that's been growing each year. More people are participating in Dry January. For 31 days, they're choosing to abstain from alcohol. Eric Kennedy has been sober for more than 7 years and has helped inspire some of the non-alcoholic drink choices at the market hall.
Surround yourself with a support system.
A new study shows even just 1 month alcohol-free has a lasting impact. People had better sleep, less anxiety, and more energy. They saw significant improvements in metabolic health, even without changes to diet or exercise.
It's been the best life decision for me.
For Kennedy, it's a life change, encouraging others to do it for as long as it feels right.
Take it one day at a time.
Sam joins us with a complete look at the forecast next. And later, the Pitt State women's basketball head coach looks back on the win against 9th-ranked MSSU.
Well, friends, what a difference 24 hours can make weather-wise here in the 4 states, but of course that's typical. That's one of the things we have to deal with here in our region. In fact, last night there was some tornado activity. Let's take a look at one of the Twitter shots. This was from Justin Aaron, who retweeted this. Kim Chills was the one that actually took the photograph and the video. And you can see very clearly right there, there's what appears to be a possible tornado. This was near Fairland, Oklahoma, down in Ottawa County. Fortunately, it doesn't appear that it did any damage or anything significant down there, but it was pretty active last night, but not tonight. It's nice and calm tonight, just the way we like it, especially down in Seneca, Missouri with the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty nice night. This afternoon, we made it up to 64. Actually, 64 was way back at midnight, and then 47, our low, which was actually 2 degrees above the normal high for this time of year. 26 the normal low, 74, and 0 are the records. Rainfall amounts were spotty. Some areas got quite a bit of rain, like around down in Berry County, almost 3 inches in some locations, 1.4 on the north side of Joplin near Webb City, and then a couple inches over and just south and east of Independence. But most areas got at least about 1/3 of an inch of rain with those storms. In fact, the storms are now pushed off into the southeastern United States. Multiple tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings right now for Mississippi. That's going to continue all night long into Alabama and Georgia. Also, we had some tornado warnings in Illinois earlier today. This is all part of that big, powerful storm system that's spinning over Iowa. That is moving slowly away from us. But take a look at this. This is very impressive. This is the next storm system that's going to be hitting California. Look at the spiral on this thing. This is a classic textbook mid-latitude cyclone, and that is heading right for San Francisco and central California. Going to cause lots of wind damage and flooding and landslides for the folks in the Golden State, but not here. We're going to stay pretty nice as far as the weather goes for at least a little bit longer. Temperatures tonight are generally in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees with light westerly winds. And we're about 20 to 25 degrees colder tonight than we were last night at this time. And then we take a look at the dew points. We're still in the 20s and 30s right now, so a little bit dry out there. Currently in Joplin, we're sitting at 40. Feels like 33 because that west wind at 13, and the dew point's 30 degrees, and the pressure is currently rising. Tonight, we're going to see lows dropping down to the freezing mark, maybe a few degrees below that, with just a few passing clouds. Then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny with highs in the mid-40s, upper 40s down in Oklahoma, maybe in 50 degrees over there in Nowata. Then tomorrow evening into Thursday morning, we're going to see a front slide through. That's going to reinforce the cold air that's in place with lows in the 20s and 30s, but that's typical and seasonal for this time of year. And then as we head through Thursday afternoon, we'll see highs generally in the mid to upper 40s to lower 50s down in Oklahoma. Then Thursday night into Friday, we're going to see temperatures dropping down again into or around freezing with southeasterly winds. Here's a look at the bigger picture. We have the cool air over us tonight. That's going to stick with us for a couple of days, but then it will retreat off towards the north and east, and we're going to go into a more zonal pattern, which means that the cold air will be to the north and the warm air to the south, with us kind of stuck in between with a few passing storms possible on Saturday, but it doesn't look like a big deal. Here's your 7-day forecast. 46 tomorrow, 45 on Thursday, double nickel on Friday, and then 51 on Saturday with some showers in the morning, a little bit cooler on Sunday, but at least we're going to be staying right around normal for this time of year. And there might be a sleet situation on Thursday morning, but at this point I wouldn't get too excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, that all looks good.
Yeah,
all right.
We'll take it.
Sounds good. Thank you, Sam.
Alrighty.
The floodwaters that drenched Northern California over New Year's weekend are still drying up, leaving behind a mess of destroyed roads and property. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at the damage as communities brace for another bout of severe rainfall later this week.
Cleanup continues across swaths of Northern California after this weekend's historic and deadly weather system called an atmospheric river storm triggered flash floods.
The whole creek kind of overflow, everything in our backyard got filled with water, a lot of trees break down.
The storm, categorized by long bands of water vapor that produce heavy rainfall and snow, washed out roads, submerged cars, generated mudslides, knocked out power to thousands, and damaged infrastructure. The storm's intensity prompting evacuations and rescues as drivers were caught off guard.
The truck lost traction, it floated. Luckily it perched on something. I'm not sure what it really perched on. Allowed us to stay on top. We waited on top of the vehicle for what felt a couple hours. EMS saved us.
The rain also resulting in sinkholes like this one outside the entrance of the Oakland Zoo, forcing officials to close it down for at least 2 weeks for repairs.
Most importantly, the animals are safe, but we've now got to assess the property damage. We've got to clean up. There's mud, on the pathways and in the parking lots. So it's been pretty extreme.
Rural areas also upended. The storm crippling levee systems in Wilton, California, causing floodwaters to advance throughout farmland. Forecasters warn the dangers are not over for swamped communities, and another bout of heavy rainfall is expected to slam Northern California Wednesday and Thursday. Ted Linder, Fox News.
Coming up, a murder suspect being extradited for court proceedings.
The suspect accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death will be in this courthouse behind me. I'm Alexis McAdams in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. I'll have details coming up.
The man charged in the murder of 4 University of Idaho students appears in court. Investigators are now working to piece together a motive. Fox News correspondent Alexis McAdams has more.
This afternoon, the suspected Idaho killer wearing an orange jumpsuit and shackles walks into this Pennsylvania courthouse. It's the first time we've seen him in person. Brian Koberger waived his extradition, so he will be taken by U.S. Marshals back to Idaho. There, he faces 4 counts of first-degree murder and a felony burglary charge. The 28-year-old arrested Friday in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Sources tell me investigators linked him to the killings by matching crime scene DNA with a sample that had been sent by one of his family members to a genealogy website.
Tactical assets were then staged in the county, in Monroe County, into the evening of Thursday, December 29th, last Thursday. And in the early hours of Friday, December 30th, those warrants were executed at the location. Mr. Koberger was taken into custody without incident.
Koberger's attorney says his client is eager to be cleared of these charges.
They've already stopped the Idaho police from tearing down the crime scene so that they could have their own experts come in.
Investigators now working to learn more about the suspect. Koberger was a student at Washington State. He was studying to get his PhD in criminal justice and criminology. The university is only about a 10-minute drive from the murder scene. Then, over Christmas break, investigators say Koberger drove with his dad back to Pennsylvania in that white Hyundai Elantra that detectives had been searching for. They were stopped by state troopers twice in Indiana for minor traffic offenses, but didn't get a ticket. Once Koberger leaves Pennsylvania, the U.S. Marshals will take him back to Moscow, Idaho, and that's when we'll learn those new details about the murders. Reporting in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, I'm Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
Up next, we'll learn what makes this old revolver special and the huge price it fetched at auction. A firearm with a tie to a rough and ready president goes up for auction and nearly hits the $1 million mark. An iconic Smith & Wesson new model number 3 single action revolver that belonged to President Theodore Roosevelt sold for more than $910,000. The revolver was presented to Roosevelt on May 12, 1898. The revolver apparently didn't make it into war against Spain, but did stay on Roosevelt's bedside table. The gun is described as being in fantastic condition. 31 minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Members of the Joplin community get a first-hand look at the new Dover Hill Elementary ahead of the new semester. Plus,
Republican George Santos hasn't even been sworn into Congress yet, and he's already embroiled in a whole lot of controversy. I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with more on that scandal coming up.
Joplin Schools celebrated the grand opening of Dover Hill Elementary School. Community members stopped for an open house, and so did KOAM Shagun Bomdali.
Joplin School staffs and Dover Hill parents and students were invited to tour the building to give the community a sight of what they've all been waiting for.
That's great. You know, we had an entire team of people working on this project that all did an amazing job, all the way from the designers to the builders, the contractors. It took a lot of people to put this together, and everybody did a great job, and we're excited for the students of Joplin.
I am currently in the library of the new Dover Hill Elementary School, where I spoke to some community members who came to check out the building. Some couldn't hide their excitement, and some tell me they wish they had this type of building in their time.
It's perfect. The school is it's brand new, it's beautiful. I'm kind of overwhelmed with how large it is. It kind of reminds me of a high school, honestly, because it's so nice and new and big and very modern. I just have enjoyed walking around.
It's just nice to see this facility. It's kind of exciting, you know, it almost makes me want to go back to school.
Teachers are going to be thrilled. You know, these teachers have been teaching in older buildings for quite a long time, and they were beautiful buildings, but I think that now it's time that we had an upgrade of both West Central and Columbia, and this building has done that.
Children also love the building.
I like how it has a lot of artwork, and it's everything that I imagined. The library is a very special place. I love to read. Sometimes I like to make my own stories.
Reporting in Dover Hills Elementary School, Shagun Bomdali, KOAM News.
Dover Hill will open tomorrow for its first day of classes. The Federal Aviation Administration says it's fixed a computer issue that caused flight delays in Florida yesterday. Those delays cascaded to other major airports. There were more than 7,000 flight delays around the U.S. yesterday, according to FlightAware. Embattled Republican incoming Congressman George Santos is getting ready to be sworn in, but he could face some challenges after he confessed to lying about parts of his professional education and personal background. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports from Washington.
Republican Congressman-elect George Santos avoided a throng of reporters standing outside of his office Tuesday. His future in Congress remains in question, shrouded in scrutiny, as he battles allegations that he misled the public about his past.
New Yorkers deserve better. Our conference deserves better.
Santos has admitted to lying about graduating from college and has confessed about never working directly for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. He's facing investigations from federal and local prosecutors. Now, Brazilian authorities say they're planning to revive fraud charges against him from 2008, when a 19-year-old Santos allegedly bought items at a clothing store with a stolen checkbook, according to the New York Times. As multiple House Democrats call for Santos' resignation, several Republicans are also slamming his credibility.
His conduct is embarrassing and unbecoming, and it is certainly a distraction.
Complicating the issue, though, was House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's daunting bid for Speaker. He's fighting for every Republican vote, and Santos is vowing to support him.
Santos, McCarthy.
Any challenge regarding Santos may have to wait until after the Speaker vote is complete. Once the House swears in Santos, it could also move to expel him, so it could be a doozy of a few days on Capitol Hill. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
A bit later, a side effect of a possible nationwide ban on TikTok.
A ban on TikTok could impact millions of small businesses. I'm Hillary Vaughn in Washington. I'll explain coming up.
Well, last night we were dealing with severe weather and tornado activity in our area, but not tonight. But I did want to show you a picture of some of the activity that was going on last night. This was retweeted by Justin Aaron It was originally captured by Kim Chills, and you can see near Fairland there was what appeared to be a tornado there in Ottawa County. But fortunately no damage or any reports of damage with that activity last night, but it was a little bit close there. All right, let's take a look outside right now in Seneca, Missouri. We can see that very nice conditions across the area, nothing really going on. And the high today was 64, but that was way back at midnight. The afternoon high was in the 50s today. 47 was the low. 45 is our normal high, so we're actually warmer in our low than the high. So that's kind of unusual. 26 the normal low, and of course the records are 74 and 0 back in 1959. All right, let's take a look at the rainfall amounts. They were more generous off to the south and east, which is what we expected, from around Mount Vernon down to Monette in Berry County and then down into northwestern Arkansas. Also another little stripe of heavier rain up to the north and west of Chanute. But everyone at least got a little something, and that's going to help the drought situation just a little bit, especially for the folks in southeastern parts of Kansas. Satellite view shows the big storm system over the upper Midwest still spiraling around, slowly moving up towards the north and east. But look at all these tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings down in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia tonight. Even earlier, there were some storms in Illinois that were producing tornadoes as well. Also, we're watching a big storm off the coast of California. This is a textbook classic mid-level cyclone that is moving towards California, and it's going to produce lots of heavy rain, high winds, mudslides. You kind of get the idea. Those folks are really going to be in for it over the next few days. Not us, though. We're going to see temperatures in the 30s and 40s right now, and we're going to drop through the 30s tonight. In fact, we're about 20 to 25 degrees colder tonight than we were last night at this time. And looking at the dew points, they're also lower too. It was very humid yesterday, but now we're starting to see some drier air take place, and that's what's going to allow the temperature to drop down to near freezing. Right now, though, we're 40, west-northwest wind at 13, so it makes it feel like 33 out there. 30 on the dew point, and the pressure is currently rising. Now the forecast tonight looks like this. Mostly fair, just a few clouds floating by. Temperatures dropping down into the 20s up to the north and west, around freezing in a lot of locations with those light westerly winds. Then tomorrow, mostly to partly sunny with the highs in the mid to upper 40s, closer to 50 down in Oklahoma with a few clouds. A front will make its way through the area early Thursday morning, but it's all going to do is just maybe change the wind direction a little bit, and our temperatures are still going to be near freezing on Thursday morning. Then Thursday afternoon, temperatures rebounding into the upper 40s to around 50 degrees, and then Thursday night into Friday morning, again, temperatures in the 20s and 30s across our area with southeasterly winds. Here's a look down the road. Bigger storm system moving away from us. Then we're going to go into a zonal pattern where the cold air is going to be to the north, warm air to the south, with these little ripples coming by, generating chances of showers in our forecast, especially as we head towards Saturday. Here's your next 7 days. Tomorrow, 46, 45 Thursday, double nickel on Friday, and then chance of showers early Saturday morning, and then more seasonable weather after that as we head into the early part of next week. Jalen?
40s and 50s, no extreme cold temps.
Right?
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
All right, thank you, Sam. A possible tornado was reported yesterday in western Arkansas. This is video from Jesseville. The storm hit just before 3 p.m. yesterday, with the Jesseville High School taking heavy damage as more than 900 students took cover in classrooms. The school's football field received the most damage. Light poles were snapped in half, bleachers were flung from the stands, and the scoreboard was mangled. Thankfully, no major injuries were reported. And coming up in sports, Pitt State reflects on its big win over 9th-ranked Missouri Southern. Plus, Girard hits the floor against Baxter Springs. Danny Tozer has those highlights and more next.
The Baxter Springs Lions host Girard this evening. Baxter is 5-2 entering tonight's matchup, while Girard is 2-1. Both teams are looking to bounce back after a loss their last time out. All Girard in the first, Alex Kester spins, hits the jumper, then Aiden Troike takes a pass, knocks one down from distance. He finishes with 9. Trojans open on a 14-0 run. Third quarter, Aiden Damon sinks a 3 from the far side. Girard up 27-10. A few minutes later, Tommy McDowell gets the offensive rebound and lays it in. He scores a team-high 10 points. And later, nice pass to Brett Clevenger. He gets the shot to fall. Girard rolls by Baxter Springs 46-20. On the girls' side, Girard beats Baxter Springs 63-20. Riley Brooks drops 16 tonight. Emmeline Seneca and Hayden Buckley also score in the double figures. The Trojans improved to 4-3. The Pittsburgh State women started the week off on a high note, picking up their biggest win of the season last night. PSU knocked off the 9th-ranked Missouri Southern Lions. The girls have challenged a few of the top teams in the league this season, Missouri Western and Central Missouri, but they couldn't close out either game. On Monday, against Southern, the girls were determined for a different outcome. They made the big plays down the stretch to seal the win.
They didn't want to feel that way again, and so the toughness that they displayed to just answer, because when you're playing the reigning MIAA Player of the Year and leading shot blocker and people that can stretch the floor in every position, you're going to have to make some plays. And so I was really proud of our girls for making plays. I think it really does put us on the map that we can be a top team, a top 25 team, and so now it gives you that confidence to do that.
The Missouri Southern men have been on a roll this past month. Southern dominated Pitt State 84-63 on Monday to earn its 4th straight win. 5 players scored in double figures, with Winston Dessau leading the way with a game-high 18 points.
I thought we had an overall really good game, both offensively and defensively. We've really established ourselves defensively by getting stops, and that transitioned us into our offense. We played at our pace, and just being off for so many days in a row, you never know how you're going to come out, but these guys really set the tone, really came out with energy and effort and toughness. And now we got to transition that into this road trip, and it's going to be tough. It doesn't get any easier with Fort Hays and Nebraska Kearney, so we got to be ready to go.
That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
A new study conducted in California prisons finds COVID-19 vaccines and boosters can limit the severity of the virus even in places where many people are getting infected. During a 6-month period among inmates with an 81% vaccination rate, researchers identified more than 22,000 COVID cases, but reported only 31 hospitalizations and no deaths. New concerns for small business owners as some lawmakers push for a ban on the popular TikTok app. Politicians worry the social media platform is being used to spy on Americans, but some businesses say that the platform is bringing them big success. Fox Business Network's Hillary Vaughn has the story from Capitol Hill.
The time for using TikTok on government-issued phones is ticking down.
This is a safety and security threat to the American people. The Chinese Communist Party is our #1 national security threat, and they are harvesting all of that information.
As some lawmakers continue pushing for a total ban of the platform over fears the Chinese government could use the app to track Americans, new concerns for some small business owners for whom the popular app has become a powerful marketing tool.
If something like that were to happen, it would greatly affect small businesses across the country.
Online card shop Sparks of Joy Co. founder Callie Goodwin was quarantined in her new home, unable to locate cards or stamps. She created her own, and a week later she had a business. A social media strategist by day, she turned to TikTok.
Or you could shop small and purchase from me. All my cards even come pre-stamped.
Goodwin says she sold over 20,000 cards in the last 2 years. 90% of those sales are from TikTok, something that would not have been in the cards had that video not gone viral.
TikTok is the best one for reaching people that don't already follow you. And so it makes it perfect for reaching potential customers who never would hear about me otherwise.
It was a similar business boom for Kelsey Campion. The chief sequin officer at Fringe & Co. was looking to get the word out about her wearable fun fashion brand when Mardi Gras was canceled during the pandemic. She posted a video of a sequin caftan in June of 2021.
Oh, Lord.
And she says it changed everything overnight.
We went from, 500-600 web visitors a day to 22,000. Watching the sales on my website was wild.
With over 1 billion people on the platform worldwide, Elizabeth Gore with Hello Alice, an organization dedicated to supporting small businesses, says TikTok remains a vital and cost-effective tool for getting more eyes on smaller brands.
You could never pay for something like that, right? That's what really gets special is people fall in love with founders and entrepreneurs. And that to me levels the playing field with the big companies.
And experts say any legislation banning TikTok would impact millions of small businesses. In Washington, Hillary Vaughn, Fox Business.
Coming up, we're going to learn about a bird in Southern California, drawing crowds from across the U.S. Bird lovers are flocking to check out a misplaced snowy owl that's ended up in balmy California. Wildlife experts are even examining the hairball-type pellet the owl spit out to see what's been on the bird of prey's dinner menu. Jenny Moos reports.
It's a head-scratcher, all right. How did a snowy owl that normally lives in the Arctic tundra end up amid the palm trees of Southern California?
I consider it an honor to be able to see the bird.
Bird lovers are flocking to Cypress, California to get a peek.
It's so exciting to see a bird that does not belong here.
Yeah, well, not everyone is excited.
There were all these crows that were just dive bombing it and trying to scare it away. And the owl was just unfazed.
Not so unfazed. The birder who posted this video, Nicholas Ballardis, admits, "I teared up." A marine biologist told the New York Times it's like seeing Santa Claus on a beach. Wildlife experts are watching the owl like a hawk, even to the point of climbing up a ladder to retrieve a pellet regurgitated by the raptor.
Oh, so a treasure right away.
The birds expel the indigestible parts of their meals, so the Wetlands and Wildlife Care Center decided to check on the owl's taste in California cuisine.
This looks like the skull. Yeah, look at that. The skull of some kind of rodent.
We know what it ate, but we don't know how it got here. Is it an escaped illegal pet? Or did it hitch a ride on a freighter from up north? Or maybe it just got disoriented and flew too far south.
It looks nice and fluffy.
Tell that to this rodent that ended up like a hairball, neither nice nor fluffy.
Let's get one more look at that skull. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool story, but we probably could have done without the rodent skull. But that's our time for tonight, and thank you guys so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with a video of the annual head count at the London Zoo. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.